Hey guys, so in last week's video of quarantine tips, I talked about how meditating and journaling can help improve your life in a big way. So if you haven't already checked out that video, go check it out and then come back to this one. So next on the list is a list of daily goals. Making a list, like making a physical list, not a mental list, a list, physical write down list of what you want to do. Even like if you type it on your phone, having a physical list of what you do every day is a great way to really know and see what you do every day, so nobody could try to tell you or really guilt you into thinking that you're not doing things every day. Not even your own mind, honestly, because sometimes those days come and you feel like, oh, I'm not being productive, I'm just lounging around, I'm being lazy, blah blah blah. No, you have the list that tells you, no, you did this every day, and you're not just being lazy, you're doing things, you're actually doing, especially in a world where if we feel like we're not doing something, we just feel useless. Unfortunately, that's the reality a lot of us have, but fortunately comes in the beauty of a list. Now, this list is obviously going to be tailored to your life. It could just be things that you do during quarantine to keep you sane. The context of that list obviously will change for every person. If you want like a more practical list of things that you do to improve your living space, like you dust the corners in the wall, you vacuum, you make sure you wash all the dishes right when you wake up after your general hygiene or whatever. Or if you want a list that is more geared towards your creative endeavors, it could literally just be read your favorite book, then next write a little in your journal, hopefully. Or if you're a writer, write a poem, write what you want. Write the next chapter of your book. If you want to get into makeup, the next thing on the list could be practice your makeup skills. If you want to get into hair, it could be play in your hair, get creative in some way. Just tailor it to your life. It doesn't have to look like the next person's list. And it doesn't have to be validated by another person either. If you literally just want to put on your list, after you wake up, meditate, then brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower. Then after that, make sure throughout the day you drink a whole bottle of water with like 2 refills. That could just be your list. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want. But on the side of making it complicated, don't make it too complicated and don't overwhelm yourself. As you can see, or as you will see, making the list is gonna be some type of trial and error. Obviously, you'll just learn of what you can and can't do every day. What you can do on the days where you have more energy, you could call it your on days, and what you can't do on the days where you're feeling a little bit more sluggish and lazy, or if you're having a mental health day, and you could call those days your off day. Getting a sense of what you can do on your on days can really help you so that you know what you did on your on days and you can have a more comfortable off day. Because trust me when I say it's much better to have an off day in a tidy living space with dishes either all the way done or mostly done, mostly put away as well, rather than having an off day in a cluttered space with clothes all over the floor because on your on day you could have did it but you was procrastinating, with dishes all up in the sink and like a unswept or unvacuumed carpet. And keeping track on how you feel and what you do on these days can really help you to just know yourself, which also helps with your own, like knowing your own work ethic, your own sense of productivity through your many moods, because like I said before, we're not machines. You won't be on every day. You won't have a huge list of goals that you'll be able to complete every day. You know, we're human. We go through emotions. These emotions have to be acknowledged, hopefully through journaling, and hopefully even through meditation. And that could take time, that could take energy, that will take away from your list of goals. Getting comfortable with knowing that you'll have on days, even if they are consecutive, just like you have on days, will help you to stop being so hard on yourself for not, you know, completing everything that you wanted to do that day. It'll help you be more adaptable and resilient and more compassionate and forgiving towards yourself once you get to know yourself and really accept yourself. Even though these tips may seem kind of insignificant on the outside, on the inside, they're doing a lot for you to get to know yourself, get to know your own levels of productivity, like I said before, get to know what's going on inside with your emotions, and get to know the ways that you do cope with it and can cope with it more effectively. And honestly, you could even make a list of just bare essentials, such as like you wake up, meditate, do your general hygiene, and that just be the list. So everything that you do after that and add to the list and then check off, it could feel like you're doing more, which can kind of like trick your mind into feeling good that you're doing more and actually feeling like you're doing more and actually appreciating yourself for doing more. And a great result to having this routine is that you'll start doing more. You'll start building your tolerance so that in the future you can, you know, progress into doing more and more and just function better, especially during like stressful times. If you create a great routine and you stick with it consistently, even if you do fall off, like we're human, we fall off of things, you know, you could literally just get back on with the routine. And as you keep doing that and start to be more consistent, especially during quarantine under all this stress, just think after quarantine how well you'll function when everything is not back to normal, because we're gonna have a new normal, but well, when we're in our new normal. And even if you don't like a daily routine, you can make a weekly routine. You could cut it up in a morning and night routine. It could literally just be what you want. And this is just something I want to stress in this video. Doing these things of self-care can really help you to just get to know yourself and figure out what you want. And if you feel like you do know yourself, get to know yourself deeper and figure out your wants and likes and dislikes and how you want to treat yourself and how you want to care for yourself. Okay, so next on the list has to do with human contact. Ask any psychologist. I feel like even if you learn Psych 101, you take a class in Psych 101, you'll know that humans are social creatures, which means that we need people. We need people. We need human contact. We need physical contact. We need verbal contact. We need people to feel good within ourselves, to feel safe, and you know, to combat mental health issues, because a lot of mental health issues can stem from not getting proper human contact at whatever stage of your life. So if you're a person who feels like, oh, I don't need people, I'd rather just be alone, you need people, sorry to say. And for a lot of us during this quarantine, especially if we live alone or we live with people but we feel alone, you started to notice that, gee, it would be pretty nice if I could talk to people, you know, if I could hug people, if I could be around people. Things that we often take for granted. During quarantine, we're figuring out that, hey, this is actually like really important, you know? So during quarantine, it's really important to get that human contact Even if you live with people and you find that you live with people you don't really like that, getting that human contact, even verbally, talking on the phone, through Skype, through Zoom, through whatever type of mode, video chatting with people that you actually like, that you like to talk to, that, you know, understands you, that can acknowledge and validate your emotions, is really important. Especially when we're alone in general, feelings of helplessness and hopelessness can, you know, creep in, and we can really be susceptible to that when we're alone. And I feel like that's just exacerbated in this time during quarantine, with all the information that we're getting about the coronavirus and all the senseless killings that are happening within the media that we're being fed. That can really create a sense of helplessness and hopelessness, which can fuel loneliness. So getting that human contact, turning off the TV, turning off social media. I sound mad old saying I guess turning off your phone. No, because then how you'll need to call people. Oh my gosh. Am I secretly a boomer? Am I secretly like 50 years old? Yikes. Let me run that back. Deleting apps, lagging out of apps, of social media, and you know, talking to people and really focusing on, you know, that verbal connection can really combat those feelings of loneliness, along with physical contact. Now, I know this could be hard if you live alone. You don't want to touch people, especially with everything going on. Or if you live with people you don't like, if you don't like them, you're not going to want to touch them. So, possibly even hug yourself. If you have pets, hug your pets. Hopefully they let you. You know, if you have the means, you could even purchase a weighted blanket, sleep with a weighted blanket. If you don't have the means for all of that, you could, you know, take multiple comforters and sleep with all of them on you. And it can really help your body to calm down and feel less anxious, and even create a sense of like cuddling and human contact in a way. Basically, do what you need to do. Reach out to the people that you need to reach out to in order to improve your mood and not feel so lonely. And next on the list, take social media breaks. If you ever were waiting for a sign, this is literally your sign. Stop bypassing